Most summer adventures start with a good old-fashioned road trip. But this wasn't just any road trip. We packed up the truck with minimal supplies, our dogs, and of course our canoe, and off we headed over 5,000 kilometers across Canada to the Yukon Territory.
Slow down, there's nothing to get you, can always turn it around. Oh, I shouldn't have met you, I only let you down. All night, in your bedroom, my thoughts were thinking loud. Oh, I shouldn't have met you, I shouldn't have let you.
As we made our way across Canada, we watched the landscape change through the windows. The granite rocks and Great Lakes of Ontario, the open prairies of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Alberta. And then as we started to make our way north through British Columbia, we reached one of our favorite parts of this drive, the Alaska Highway.
Oh, I shouldn't have met you, I only let you down. All night, in your bedroom, my thoughts were thinking loud. Oh, I shouldn't have met you.
We've been fortunate enough to drive the Alaska Highway a number of times, and it never fails to impress. We've heard locals describe it as the Serengeti of the North on account of the abundant wildlife.
Got a roadblock. They have absolutely no interest in moving. You got an itch, buddy? This is so weird. Like, look, this one's scratching itself.
Look at this one's head.
They keep scratching their necks.
We've seen quite a few buffalo. Well, we've seen a lot of buffalo, but we never had one like that before.
Oh my god.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that was quite a thing there.
Yeah.
ocean to the bed. Take me in. I hope these feelings again on each other.
We finally arrived in the Yukon. Although we were excited to be in this beautiful territory, a place we've been fortunate to spend many months exploring, this year felt different. The water levels everywhere seemed insanely high, with sandbags protecting people's homes and even dams along the Yukon River. We needed to head to Whitehorse to do a resupply and talk with the local outfitters about the river conditions.
What kind of fur do you got there?
This is a grizzly and that's a wolf.
That is
They
awesome.
both tried to eat me when I was gold mining, so I had to do them. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Our initial plan was to paddle the Yukon River from Whitehorse to Dawson City, but after talking with the local outfitters, it was mutually decided that due to record high water levels and raging wildfires, conditions were not safe for travel. We did have another exciting trip as a backup, but we really wanted to start with a shorter river trip to get our paddles wet after a long cross-country drive. The only river at that time with suitable conditions and that did not require a float plane to access was the Nisutlin River. So our decision was easy. Nisutlin River, here we come. Travel from Whitehorse back to the town of Teslin and camp for one night before leaving on our journey the following morning.
We awoke to a bit of a gloomy morning, but we're excited to pack up and meet Doug from Nisutlin Outfitters. Doug would ride with us up the historic Canoe Road, a road built during World War II to transport oil from the Northwest Territories. After dropping us off at our launch point on the river, Doug drove our truck back to his home on the shores of Teslin Lake, where we would finish our journey in a few days. After a couple of hours of bouncing down a rough and winding road through the mountains, we made it to our put-in on the Nisutlin.
Here we go. The Nisutlin River.
Feels pretty nice to have some current right now.
It does. It's so fun to be on
Yeah.
the river. We hardly ever do river paddling, so it's
still kind of novel, you know?
Yeah, very novel for us, yeah. That's nice.
Not something we do too much in Ontario, is it?
Not us.
No.
Although Ashley and I have paddled many rivers, back home in Ontario, we are generally lake paddlers, so the simple pleasure of the current pushing our canoe along never seems to get old. Sitting back, being able to take in the sights and sounds of the beautiful nature around you is simply amazing.
As the day grew later, the wind picked up, and we decided after paddling a decent way that it was time to find a campsite for the night.
We have found our camp, I think, for the evening here, and it's a nice spot, nice kind of high water camp. We've got all of our gear out. It's time to set the shelters up. Mosquitoes have once again found us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm tougher than you because I don't have the net on.
I know, but I've got to set up the shelters and they're going to get me.
No, I actually use bug spray, that's why I'm okay right now.
Well, I'm going with bug spray and a head net. Hugh, what are you going with, brother? Poor little guy down there.
He's doing all right, actually.
Yeah, he's okay, and Lou keeps rolling around. That's how Lou deals with him. She literally rolls on the ground until there's no more mosquitoes.
She hides in a bush, doesn't she? Yeah.
Okay, let's get her set up.
Sending a message to your parents.
Yep, the nightly check-in, Mom. I guess even when you're this age, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Every night we send a message, and then I also like to update the weather forecast, the InReach. This is an older InReach, but it still does the same as the new stuff, and you get weather forecasts, and it seems to work really well. So this is the nightly ritual. And sometimes I'll check in the morning, afternoon, you know, a couple times a day, depending on where we are and how worried we are about the weather changing on us. If we're on, like, say, Superior or Huron, but yeah, that's what it is. What do you think? Is it anything, or
I don't know.
are they barking at each other?
I don't know.
They both got their noses up, but sometimes they just do that when they're
trying to figure out if something's there.
That's right, when they're trying to win things, right? But
Do you hear twigs cracking, or am I just paranoid?
No, I think there is something there. It's probably a moose.
Yeah.
It's probably a moose. Because there's definitely twigs breaking,
Yeah.
and the dogs are definitely...
They keep smelling.
They're smelling something, right?
Yeah.
So, I know, as I said before, last time we were here, how many moose did we see? We saw quite a few moose.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one go on moose.
Yep. You too. Just in case. We got this bad boy.
Some people carry Trojan magnums. Other people carry Yukon magnums. It's pretty big, though.
Yeah, the bear spray.
Yeah. Hey.
Later on, we did spot a moose further downstream. And in the middle of the night, we woke up and noticed a black bear directly opposite our camp on the other side of the river. It's amazing how heightened your senses become on these types of trips. Even still, it's always nice having our dogs with us because they are usually aware of nearby wildlife long before we are.
We awoke to an extremely windy and cool morning, but we are excited to get on the water and see what the day would bring.
How's it going, baby?
It's going, babe. It's actually, honestly, you know what? With that sun coming out, it's honestly not that bad.
Yeah.
It's just really windy.
I think we're a bit more sheltered from the wind right here. The bits where you're exposed, it's not too nice, but this bit's all right.
Well, the nice thing about a river that does this,
Yeah, you get a break.
you get really strong headwind, no wind, super strong tailwind, back into a super strong headwind. So, you know, it's
Never a dull moment.
never a dull moment. And maybe, because it's windy, animals definitely won't hear us. So maybe we'll get lucky and see some more moose today,
Yeah, that would be cool.
or some bears.
Yeah. Nice when you get out of that wind for a sec, isn't it?
Holy friggin' insane.
I know.
Yeah, like we saw that moose there, you stopped paddling and the wind picked up and then we were literally blowing backwards up the river. That is windy. I bet you it's gusting I don't know, 60 kilometers an hour?
It's tough, isn't it? It's pretty tough going.
Yeah.
And then like in the sections with all the sweepers, it gets just a little sketchy at times. Like it's not terrible, but you're kind of like, oh, I better actually pay attention.
That's right.
Yeah. It's really nice right now. A few years previously, we completed the Nisutlin River as part of a much larger 21-day trip, and we were surprised this time at how much the river had changed. Many of the high water camps we remembered were either washed away or they were impossible to get to due to collapsed banks and fallen trees.
Good girl. Down.
What you got there, baby?
It's just a tiny little pike here. There you go.
Nice.
Away it goes. See you, buddy. After a long day on the water, dealing with the windy conditions, we were happy to find a beautiful campsite next to a huge log pile on a small island. After setting up camp and enjoying a nice dinner, Ashley decided to do some reading while I explored the island site and did some fishing. I could not believe all the moose, beaver, and fresh wolf tracks along the shores. Almost every sandy shore along the Nisutlin was covered in fresh tracks from these three animals. After a good night's rest, we awoke to a beautiful summer day in the Yukon. Sunny skies and light wind. Good morning and welcome to day 3 of our Nisutlin River trip. We are just about to set off. Ashley's complaining up in the bow there. She's holding us in an eddy right now. But absolutely beautiful day out here. The wind is fairly calm, the sun is out, and I think it's gonna be a good day. So here we go.
I heard some things to make me think I shouldn't care for you.
But talk is cheap, especially when we only care for half the truth. I don't know what you've been through. Don't know what you've been through. Scared to hear your point of view. I don't know what you've been through. I've seen the signs, black and white, and on the screen. But eyes can lie when the movie in your mind isn't us first and routine. I don't know what you've been through.
So sometimes we do a question of the day. Sometimes we do like a little story of the day or something. So today it's going to be kind of like a story. So Ashley is obviously from England and I'm not. And sometimes we have like words get mixed up, eh? So this morning Ashley turns to me and she says, "Did you clean both bows?" And I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Did you clean both bows?" And I'm looking at her. I'm not sure what's going on here, right? And she says, "Well, if you only clean one bow and it's next to the other bow, you're gonna have two dirty bows." And I said, "Baby, like I've been doing this for 30 years. You don't just clean one, right?" Anyways, then we both clued in that she was talking about a different type of bow.
I was talking about bowls.
Bows.
Bowls. B-O-W-L-S.
I can't understand. I didn't know.
You knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. So, moral of the story is always clean both bows. Daddy? No. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Little fella. Get him back in. Okay.
Little baby.
That is a small pike. Snag them, or if it's actually a half decent fish. Or I snagged a stick or something. Not very big.
Oh,
It's not
nice.
a bad little guy. Decent, better than the other couple. Oh. There he goes.
After dinner, we spent our evening finalizing plans for our next trip. We also decided to make it our goal to complete the Nisutlin River the next day, as the upcoming weather forecast was not looking good, and we needed to make it across a large portion of the enormous Teslin Lake, which is known to experience high winds. We woke up early, knowing we had a long day ahead, packing quickly as we battled mosquitoes and hornets. On the water, we quietly settled into a rhythm, both wondering what conditions awaited us on Teslin Lake.
What's she looking at?
Bet we've seen 3 or 4 beavers this morning, all within like a kilometer of where we camped. And Betty's just like, I think she thinks they're fish sometimes.
Yeah, probably.
And she gets very excited when she hears them splashing. So
Apparently the excitement continues.
yeah, she's literally sitting here anxiously awaiting the next beaver
splash.
noise. Hey Lou? Beaver. Keep a close eye, Lou. Mom won't get in the way on us. As we made our way down the final 30 kilometers of the river, we were looking forward to the last stretch, where the Wolf River joins the Nisutlin, giving the river new life and a different feel. We remember seeing many eagles on this stretch of the river, and this time was no different. Made it to the end of the Nisutlin River. Woohoo! Woohoo! So that's pretty good. Now we got 11 kilometers of Lake Teslin coming up. So we'll see kind of how wild it looks when we get around the corner here. But I think last time we did it, we got windbound. I don't know if it was for a whole day or if it was just for a few hours. We had to kind of wait it out. But anyways, the current has ended and here we go. Lake Teslin and then the beautiful town of Teslin coming up.
We emerged onto Teslin Lake in less than ideal conditions. The small islands of the delta provided shelter, but before long we were on the open water. This part of the lake is quite shallow, which makes paddling close to shore a challenge as the waves begin to roll and break. After surfing our way through the shallows as far as we could, we decided to put Plan B into action. The pups enjoyed the freedom of running along shore as we each took a rope and lined the canoe while trudging and clambering along the slippery, muddy, and rocky shoreline. This trip down the Nisutlin River had not turned out to be the gentle, quiet, and relaxing paddle we had hoped for. But if there's anything we've learned from backcountry travel, it is to expect the unexpected. Paddling a canoe through the middle of nowhere with your life's most important possessions makes you very vulnerable. You are constantly reminded that it is you who must respect and adapt to the forces of nature, not the other way around. So as we made it to the shores of Teslin, we breathed a sigh of relief and gratitude, for it would not be long until we were out on the water again.